what the true big three of this series is. So when I say big three, it's kind of become like a trope in the battle manga as of late. I don't know if it necessarily started with Naruto, but since then a lot of series have been kind of going with that flow. You know, you have like the three main characters. You have like Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura. And in JJK, we thought, for the most part, it was going to be Yuji, Nobara, and Megumi. But now, it doesn't really seem that way because, you know, we talked about it in our first collab that Megumi, a lot of death flags. Like, we're not surprised if he dies at this point. And Nobara, she might be dead already. Still, no one knows. I don't even know if Gege knows, but Nobara not in the picture anymore. And it makes me think, like, another thing that we were talking about, how Gege subverts tropes. We were talking about how, you know, if you would have said, you know, Yuji's not going to kill Mahito in chapter 132, that's like not going to happen. It's actually going to be Kenjaku that comes over. So is something similar happening in this series where we only see what the true big three is in the final arc of it, which is probably going to be Yuji, Okotsu, and Maki? What do you think about that?
Probably, yeah. Yeah, I think so. But something I've always wondered, the entire series, are there any other families, like big families, that kind of just got pushed to the side? We got the big three families, you know, like talking about big three. Did any of these big three families in the past get taken over by, per se, another family? It's just an idea as well, but yeah. I'll go back to the main question. I think, yeah, the big three from the series from now on is going to be Yuji, Yuta, and Maki. That's what I think are our big three, personally.
Because also we had Okotsu straight up saying that he is going to kill Kenjaku. So I'm thinking, like,
yeah.
You know, we have obviously Yuji versus Sukuna, and now we have Kenjaku versus Okotsu, and then I guess Maki versus Urarame.
Yeah, I don't know. Maki kind of there, just flying around helping everyone out, you know, doing her thing. She's just moving at Mark 3 speeds across the battle, just helping everyone out.
So this is a little crazy, a little off the wall, a little headcanon-y, but it's something that I was kind of speaking with my chat the other day, and Diavolo kind of sparked it in my brain, and I kind of want to see what you guys think about it. So going with the big three, I definitely agree that Jujutsu Kaisen, as Gege really wanted it to be, was a complete, you know, destruction of the big three characters. You know, that trope where there's two guys, a girl, and they have a sensei, and that's the main group of characters that we kind of finish with. Clearly, as we all mentioned, that's not going to be the case. But in the history of Jujutsu Kaisen, we have a lot of big threes. We have the three families that survived in the Jujutsu Society, and also we know we have the three vengeful spirits that kind of started everything back in the day. Now, Kenjaku, Sukuna, Urarame, while they're all threatening, Urarame maybe not so much as others after what happened with Gojo. Those are three great villains that are going to be going up against, what, 12, 15 people? So I feel like a great way to kind of figure out who's going to be the top three characters out of our protagonist group, the three characters that make the biggest impact out of everybody, would be putting them up against characters that would really challenge them. So I don't want to have another culling game. I don't want to have Kenjaku just reincarnate more players. But what would you guys say if, in order to beef up the villain numbers a little bit, the three final villains that Kenjaku reincarnates to help them out in this would be the three vengeful spirits themselves?
Ooh.
Yeah, like, possibly has he even got them under his control? I don't know if he could do that with Geto's technique, but, like, you know, like, maybe he drops them along with, like, all of his cursed spirits to just be a nuisance.
Well, yeah. I feel like that would be a great way to, like, make the big three, like Maki, Okotsu, and Yuji would get a big fight, because we know, like, Kenjaku would be a great fight against Yuta. Do we really think Yuta's gonna beat Kenjaku though? Maybe not. I don't know what you guys think about that, but I feel like if we really want a lot of these final group of characters to have a big moment, having only three villains to have them with makes it kind of rough to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're right. We do have like a huge lineup of good guys, and like only or three guys on the villain side, Kenjaku and Uraume. So it's going to be really interesting to see how like these final battles will play out from here, because while I do think like Gojo and Sukuna, they're gonna get a 1v1. It just has to happen. I don't also think that like that necessarily means Sukuna will only fight Gojo, like either before or after they have their grand fight, you know, assuming Sukuna defeats Gojo or whatnot. I think we can still see like a combination of matchups like Yuta and Maki and Hakri against Sukuna, or just like a combination of characters against one person. Because kind of like we discussed earlier, I do believe Yuji has to play a major role in Sukuna's defeat if he gets defeated. So, yeah, like with a bunch of characters we got on the good side, we can definitely expect maybe like a 3v1 or more type of battle.
Yeah, I mean,
one thing though,
oh, go ahead, sorry.
Are you like 100%? Like we all forgot. This has got to happen. Kenjaku will release Mahito back. 100%. Like I don't even know why like this has skipped my mind, but 100% he's gonna drop Mahito back for Yuji to go ham on. That will be a fight. Like surely that becomes a battle in this final battle here. He brings him out as his like overpowered hyper killing form or whatever he's in, and just lets him go ham throughout the battlefield, because he's still a threat, especially with his you know, like soul manipulation. Or can he bring him out after using...
But first, let's talk about GamerSup's new Waifu Cup drop, and this time it's Shellphone. Guys, I love these new Waifu Cup drops. They never disappoint. And of course, there's always a shirt that drops with them that has the super aesthetic Shellphone waifu design on it. Love the color of this shirt. And of course, the Waifu Cup itself, an amazing shaker and GamerSup's drinking receptacle. What I've been doing lately is been taking a half scoop of red raspberry and a half scoop of anime girl thighs. That's right, that's the name of this flavor. Mixing it up and you get this awesome, unique red and orange creamy flavor. So guys, if you're interested in getting your very own Waifu Cup shirt and of course GamerSup's, check out the link in the description and make sure you use code BIGZ for 10% off your purchase. You're also going to be helping me out too. Thanks guys.
As much as I love Mahito, I think it was confirmed that like Uzumaki is like does destroy like all the curses when they're used, and like Idol Transfiguration, I think it was confirmed Kenjaku was only able to use it that one time too.
Once. Yeah. That's why I was wondering, like, could he bring him back? But yeah, no, good point. Maybe I
would love that. I would not be. You know, it's one of those things where like we can all be like, oh, I would hate if like he just brought back a character for no reason. But you know what? I feel like Mahito is a great exception to that. But we'll let everybody else talk. We'll get off this tangent.
See Mahito come back would be really cool. Yeah. I do think though one of the big things is, you know, we talk about big moments and we talk about needing those 1v1s or more villains, and well, I think some more antagonists would be nice to sort of see go up against our heroes or whatever. I think like a big part of what JJK has been about fight wise is not running the ones, being completely unfair in regards to that. I mean, Yuji and Todo is a pretty like famous duo for jumping, right? They obviously jumped Hanami, they jumped Mahito. I mean, Hanami went up against like multiple groups of people. First it was like Irumaki, Megami, and Kamo, then it was Maki and Megami, then it was Todo and Yuji, right? I think it's very, very possible that each character just gets jumped and the focus is going to be on those group battles, if you will, right? Maybe outside of Gojo versus Sukuna, or maybe you have some support in the background with some other strong characters. I could see someone being eliminated from the sort of like group effort in Kashimo. I feel like Kashimo has no interest in synergizing with everybody else. I feel like it's very possible that he's going to be like a month. I'm not waiting a month to fight Sukuna. We're throwing him. Tell me where he is. I'm going to fight him right now. I'm gonna I'm getting this done. You guys do whatever you do. And then I could see Kashimo like making an exit from the story that way. Personally, getting rid of like not only handling his story in a way that I think it makes sense for his character, but also sort of thinning the herd of powerful characters we have going up against Sukuna, Kenjaku, and Arame. That being said, though, I definitely think Kenjaku can be jumped by a decent amount of people just because Curse Spirit Manipulation like kind of allows for Kenjaku to be jumped without being overwhelmed physically. If he releases, like, if he's been over time gathering a similar amount of curses that Geto did in Volume 0, he could have hundreds to thousands of cursed spirits at his disposal. And we saw what, like, a swarm of low-level curses did to Choso, so it's not really impossible or even, like, not feasible for him to be able to handle a bunch of characters at once. Then you factor in Arame, Sukuna, and all of that stuff.
Yeah. We know Kenjaku's gone around getting more curses. Like, he got a deity from a different country. Like, a deity curse from a different country. So, he's definitely got some stuff, for sure. So, yeah, I can't wait to see what he actually has. It'd be interesting.
Your thoughts on that, Weeb, if you had any?
Yeah, sorry, I kind of want to go back to the, what was it, the big three?
Oh, please,
like,
please.
while you guys were talking, I was just kind of, like, thinking about it. Honestly, it is, like, really sad when I think, man, like, it's not Yuji, Megami, and Nobara anymore. It's, like you said, likely gonna be Yuji, Yuta, and Maki. But, like, you know what, like, since, like, you guys already said it's that, I'm gonna have, like, a different opinion, and I'll just say, I still believe, Yuji, Maki, and Megami will still be the big three. Like, I don't know, I'm just kind of thinking of, that scene in Naruto where, because, like, you know how Sasuke was away for most of the story, and well he was still considered the big three, and then they all kind of joined up in the war arc. So I don't know, I mean, I know that sounds too happy for Jujutsu Kaisen, but man, a trio reunion, I'm hoping for that.
I mean,
I would
yeah,
just
we
be happy
all,
to see Nobara back.
yeah,
too,
we all want it for sure. Nobara, if she does come back, you know, would probably have a similar effect as Gojo on the internet. Not as big, but definitely viral worthy. But we were also running into the issue, which I agree with, is that there's not enough villains to go around. And that's very true. And I would love if the big three vengeful spirits came back, because they've been talked about enough for me to think that they eventually have to come into play, and I hope they do. But what if we have already seen what everyone's opponent could be, or just a big thing that everyone can face in lieu of having these big foretold 1v1s, which may or may not happen. And it's that friggin' big Uzumaki curse thing that Kenjaku's ultimate plan revolves around, merging all of the citizens of Japan into the barrier, into Tengen, and then they make that thing. It's like, I think for sure that is going to be made. And yes, Gege will go as far as slaughtering 100 million Japanese people just to get this plot across. And it's like, everyone essentially has to fight that thing at once. If not, you know, that, then of course we'll have the Thanos versus the Avengers on Titan moment where, you know, everybody's going against Sukuna. He's just wrecking house. But aside from that, what do you think about that big Uzumaki curse thing?
I think it's kind of crazy. Like because the one tough part about that, and honestly, while I think it would be absolutely just insane of an ending, we know that the conditions to actually start the merger are for the culling game to end. And for the culling game to end, Kenjaku basically made the rule that he would absolutely have to kill basically everyone that was ever a player in the culling game. So that means he would have to essentially kill Yuji, kill Maki. He would have to kill, I can't think of everybody, but you get what I'm saying. What do you guys think about that?
That is very true,
It's pretty
but we do have the ability to leave the culling game.
True, yeah, you do have the option. You just have to substitute someone. But can you substitute someone new into the game? If, you know what I mean? Like, because it conflicts. That's why I've been like, it conflicts this whole time. Like, these two
that'd be such a great plot twist. Like Kenjaku's like, they like the last, like Yuji is the last person alive, and he's like, oh, you're not gonna kill me, and he's like, all right, I don't have to, and just swaps him out for like Ichichi, and then kills him.
Ichichi, the domain barrier.
R.I.P. He can't make it to the end of the series. He gets dogged at the very end. That'd be so sad.
I love how like Ichichi was doing his big play for like Yoruzu, and then he just gets done. Like, a man doesn't even know what happened. Probably he's just somewhere in the culling game right now,
just sitting in a waiting room. Like, did they forget about me?
Like, what's going on? Like.